Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Sean, sometimes known as the Beast, and if you've seen any of my videos before you'll know that I was pretty late coming into the old the underground scene, as it were. It's probably only due to starting watching the metal community on here, whenever it was, that piqued my interest in such bands. And something I always found fascinating was the fact that certain people are involved in, more than one project, 2 or 3. So I thought, well, it might be worth highlighting a couple of my favourites. Probably just like a little mini series type thing, rather than just the norm. The reason the last record I've got 4 records to show. The last one I'm going to show, was what got the idea into my head. It's a 2025 release. The others I've had for quite some time, played them to death. So we'll get cracked on. The person in question, the artist in question, the musician in question, is a gentleman called Steve Blackwood. Now, if you're a fan of the underground black metal scene in the UK, you'll know who Steve is. He's pretty prolific. So what I've done is I've picked 4 of my favourites that he's released, 4 different projects. So first up we have the rather incredible Winter Mist. This is the second full length called Bitter Hymns. This came out in 2023 on Death Prayer Records. This is, as I say, it's UK black metal from the northeast of England, I believe. Steve is located. From the very opening blast of this, the guitar sort of kicks in, and then there's this hellish sort of banshee-like scream that lasts 30 seconds or some such like that. It sort of sets the tone for what's to follow. This is the version. I don't know what colour variants there is, but I've got the white one. Yeah, this is just an absolutely wonderful release. To be fair, the other Winter Mist ones are as well, but this one, I seem to gravitate back to this one more than the others. For me, personally, this is one of the best examples of raw, ferocious UK black metal. The guitar works exemplary, everything about it, the riffs, the lead work, the rhythm parts, the vocals are just, when he sings in sort of like, it's not even singing, it's almost like a spoken word, and in the lower register of his voice, it's as creepy as fuck, and it proper builds the atmosphere. The songs are all wonderfully crafted. It's just, for me, this is an essential UK black metal album. Absolutely top notch. It's the mix is really good. You can hear each individual instrument. Just, yeah, like a really sort of like angst-ridden, frostbitten type of atmosphere. Absolutely wonderful record. So yeah, so that's the first one. That is Winter Mist and Bitter Hymns from 2023. Now next up is an album that I've shown countless times in other videos, and it's probably one of my favourite albums of all time. The album and band in question are Countess and their release Occulta Tenebrae. This came out in 2022 on what's it called? Dominance of Darkness Records. I absolutely love this record. I have spanned the bejesus out of this, and like I say, I've shown it on several other videos. Vocal duties on this one are taken over by Steve's wife, affectionately known on this as the Countess. Her voice is sort of, it's more in, it's still that black metal sort of screech, but it's more in the slightly lower register than you might expect. It's certainly absolutely, it fits the music absolutely perfectly. Track 5, which is called now Screams Over Carpathia, is sort of like a keyboard heavy, almost melodic, mournful type sound musically, with the sound of this poor young girl getting, well, you can only imagine what she's getting done to her. When you listen to track 6, which is called Orgasm Leading to Death, the lyrical content in that is awful. It's savage. It probably is when the Countess is at her most vicious. When you read along to the lyrics, it puts images into your head that you really don't want to be in there. But it's such a fantastic album overall. I think Countess Bathory certainly had was a very much needed source of inspiration for this one, and absolutely fantastic record. The guitars on this, again, the mix is exemplary. The guitar work is just, it's second to none, and I would probably go as far as to say this is like a 9.5 out of 10 album, maybe even a 10 out of 10 to be honest. This has been spanned so many times, and I'm really hoping that at next year's Fortress Festival, on the Friday evening, Blood Countess are playing in a pub, the pub that Johnny Mack walked me to last year, that said, oh, it's only 5 minutes down the road, and it was about 4.5 days. So I'm hoping we can get in there in time to get in to see Blood Countess, because I think it's only maybe 150 people or something, so we might have to get there a bit early. But yeah, absolutely wonderful record. I'd say it's easily one of my favourites. So that is Blood Countess and Occulta Tenebrae. Now the next one is one of the earlier things I heard that featured Steve, actually on cassette, and I was quite happy with the cassette, but then I saw he put the vinyl version up on his Bandcamp. Silly price, £12 or something like that, so I had to get the vinyl version. The project in question is called Peasant. As you can see, this is the demo collection. This is out on Blackwood Productions. This includes demo X1X, well, MMX1X, and The Lone Wolf. For me, this one is, again, all of these do feature Steve Blackwood, as I mentioned, but each one it's got like subtle differences between, you know, it's nothing's the same, nothing's like, oh, he's just doing the same stuff but in a different band. Just a black wax on this one. Yeah, the thing I found with this is, although it is, you know, it's definitely black metal, there's no denying it's black metal, there is a few like heavier sections that you sort of, oh, didn't expect to hear that type of a vibe there. You know, it's certainly not death metal, but sort of like a heavier version of black metal maybe. Again, the vocals are just ridiculous. The drums on this are absolutely exquisite without being intrusive or over the top or distracting. It's really solid, and this is one of those black metal releases where the riffs are repetitive but it works, and they stick in your head for hours after you finish listening to it. And again, I was pleased this actually came out on vinyl, because the cassette's pretty much worn through. It's just such a wonderful release. So it is raw. It's a demo after all, but it's not lo-fi sound wise, but it's got that sort of that lo-fi like ethic to it, that type of feel to it. Absolutely cracking release. And if you haven't got it, I think there's probably still some left on his Bandcamp page. I'll leave the link to his Bandcamp down in the description. But yeah, absolutely belting release. Really good stuff. So this last one is the reason that sort of this idea came to me. This is a, as I say, it's a 2025 release, and when I first saw the cover I didn't even realise that Steve was involved in it. Obviously that mistake was soon rectified. The project in question is called Ruingast. I think that's how you pronounce it. Apologies if it's wrong. The album is called The Gaping Wounds of Eternity. This is a debut full length out on Forbidden Keep Records. Now, this is apparently it's a remaking of a project that Steve was in earlier called Cave Dweller. I don't own any of those, so I can't, I couldn't compare what it was like to what this is. What I will say is this is absolutely spectacular. This is, again, at its core, it's got that raw, traditional black metal feel, but there's definitely certain elements, I think, in this one even more so, of like almost like a death metal type sound. Again, like I say, it's definitely black metal, but it just has that extra flavour, I suppose you could say. This one is on a sort of grey, smoky vinyl, but again, this is another one of those ones where the riffs are that good a long time after you put it back in its sleeve and it's off. They'll keep coming back into your head. He writes some absolutely fantastic black metal riffs. Vocals on this one I saw more at the lower end of his range, but they have that quite unnerving type of, like, full of anger and spite, and the atmosphere it creates is quite creepy, but still like drags you in and keeps you entertained. And this has been getting a lot of spins. This is something a little bit special. This is possibly up there with Blood Countess for my favourite release that Steve's done. Now obviously this is only relatively new, I've only had it a while, but it has been spun a hell of a lot. And yeah, it's one of the best things I've heard this year in the black metal realm for sure. If you haven't heard it, I will leave links down below in the description. There is actually a download code. Now I don't know how well this will show up, but I'll try and block my mug out and hopefully give it a few seconds to focus on it. So please feel free to use it, and of course get yourself over to Bandcamp and socials and grab one of everything that's there, because super talented bloke. So yeah, so like I said, this is the idea will be going forward. There's plenty of other artists we know, but I thought I'd start with sort of the record that, the artist that inspired me to do this little, hopefully it'll become a series. So that is Ruingast and The Gaping Wounds of Eternity from 2025, out on Forbidden Keep Records. So that's it for this one. So it was just an idea that came to mind. Hopefully it'll have a bit of traction, and so there's a lot of super talented artists out there. Even if we go to some of the big boys, think of people like Chris Reifert, with Autopsy and Static Abyss and Abscess and stuff like that. But I'll probably focus more on the underground scene, because that seems to be where I spend most of my time anyway at the moment. So, as always for one of these videos, thank you very much if you stuck it out this long. Very much appreciated. Do the normal thing of thumbs up, liking, commenting and stuff. If you know of any artists that you think I maybe should know, that that go across multiple projects, please pop down into the comments and give them a shout out. Probably be back with a black metal. I've got a lot of black metal that I still haven't shown on vinyl and on cassette and on CD, so I might do a mixed format type thing. Depends what I feel like listening to this week. I'll let you go. You say if you stuck out this long, thank you very much. Enjoy whatever type of music you're listening to. As always, enjoy whatever genre of music you're listening to. Until next time, we'll be back with some other inane, very poorly researched, inane drivel. Cheers!